In this video, I try to beat Terraria Randomizer where mob drops are completely random. Mobs could drop anything from stone to the prism, and I'm doing all of this on expert mode. This video is actually a part 2, but all we did last time was beat the wall of flesh, so you didn't miss much. Now sit back and enjoy this insane challenge. After spawning in, I instantly started looking for the materials to spawn the mechanical bosses. First on the list were the twins. I needed an ore chalcum anvil, so I went into the corruption to spawn more ores. With the ores now spawned, I went caving looking for them. While caving, I found a spore sack, which is a great expert mode item. I finally found a bit of ore chalcum ore, but it wasn't enough for the anvil, so I kept looking. Fortunately, I found a vortex pickaxe in a chest, which is one of the best pickaxes in the game. That really helped me in my search for the ore. After a couple of mishaps, a mob that I killed ended up dropping the mechanical eye, so my search for the ore had to be postponed. While waiting for it to be nighttime, I accidentally spawned a goblin army, but they got absolutely rolled. As well as this, I found an insane piece of armor that's going to help me a lot in the long run. Then with the help of a potion, I found even more orichalcum ore. But then just as I was about to fight the twins, a blood moon rose, so I had to wait it out. I then decided to completely screw that idea and fight them anyway, which was surprisingly pretty challenging on expert mode. I even ended up dying on the first go, but after another attempt, I ended up defeating him. Now I was ready to fight the destroyer, but I was one ingot short from an anvil. After finding the remaining hard to pronounce ore, I finally crafted myself an anvil. Now I was on my way to the corruption for rotten chunks, which I needed for the mechanical worm. After getting the rotten chunks, I got a bit distracted, but then headed to the underground corruption for the souls of night, which took ages to dig down to. After finally getting to those souls, I spawned in the destroyer. Using my Terrarian, I took this guy down pretty quickly without a challenge, as you could probably tell. After the battle, I got the solar eruption, which will be useful in the future. Okay, now it's time for the final mechanical boss, Skeletron Prime. To spawn him, I need some bones, which can be found in the dungeon, so that's where I headed. After scavenging the dungeon and its chest for a while, I got the required amount of bones to craft the mechanical skull. On my way back from the dungeon, I found 48 life crystals in a chest, so I got up to max hearts pretty quickly. When it became nighttime, I spawned in Skeletron Prime, which was surprisingly challenging, and the fight dragged on for a lot longer than I thought it would, but I ended up beating him anyway. Now it was time for Golem and Plantera. I decided to find Golem's temple first, so I headed to the jungle. I somehow actually spawned the queen bee, but as you can imagine, I didn't really break a sweat. After searching the jungle for absolute ages, I found the temple. To spawn the golem, however, I needed a power cell, which comes in every single chest inside the temple. There was only one problem. Since I'm playing a randomizer, the power cells did not spawn in the chests, meaning I had to get it by randomly killing temple mobs, which took a while. After dying far more than a couple times and destroying every single trap in sight, I finally found the power cell. I then forgot that I haven't fought Plantera yet, so I went to do that. Unfortunately, finding the spawner for that boss took an unbelievable amount of time. After searching for around an hour, I finally found the bulb, cleared out an area, and fought the boss. This fight ended up being pretty challenging and I almost lost, but I ended up taking it home with the Meowmer, which was the real star of the show. Now it was time for the golem, and I only had one shot because I did not want to have to get another power cell. Luckily, this fight was pretty easy with the Meowmer and I won relatively quickly. I hung up onto the roof and let the Meowmer do its job. This is where the real nightmare begins. It was time for Lunatic Cultists. Here's how my first run went. Yeah, this went on for a while. After all the dying, we managed to get cosmic car keys, which were a saving grace to say the least. And the cultists were finally defeated, for now at least. Now it was time for the pillars, which also took ages, by the way. After well over 20 deaths, the pillars fell one by one. After the pain I went through to defeat the pillars, it was finally over. Now it was Moonlord time at long last. I tried the honey strategy and surprise, surprise, it didn't work. Expert mode Moonlord is a force to be reckoned with. Now we were back to square one. There was no way I was going to do all of this again on my own, so I called my brother in to help me, who's way better at Terraria than I am. We defeated the pillars and gave it another shot, and even though we did get closer, we failed once again. So we had to think of a brand new strategy. We decided to take a different approach and try the platform method, which didn't work either, So for our final attempt, we placed a Dryad and the Nurse in the middle of the arena to help us, and here's how it went. Moonlord spawned in, and we felt ready. Both the hands were knocked out pretty fast. As you can see, we're doing very fast damage to them. Left hand's down, right hand's out. I'm healing with the Nurse. And now it's time for the eye. The boss is focused on my brother, so I could get a lot of free hits on the eye. Eye took a while, but we finally got it, and now it's time for the Moonlord's core.
Yeah.
My brother was really low, and I was trying not to die, because I did not want to do this all over again.
Yeah, go heal.
I quickly ran to heal,
I'm dead.
and it saved me.
There, heal.
My brother died, so now it's just up to me. I was doing pretty well, I was doing steady damage, and I wasn't dying, so it seemed good. And after another cheeky heal, I finally did it.
It's one shot, go get it.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Oh my god. Nurse for the win, bro. Oh my god.
And it was over. We beat the Terraria Randomizer on expert mode. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. This took well over 7 hours to film and hours to edit. So please leave a like if you enjoy this type of content. It helps me out a lot and motivates me to do more stuff like this. Thanks for watching.